This is the fluffiest cheesecake in the world. It's called a Japanese cheesecake, and this was my attempt at the recipe, since it's been going viral for its very fluffy texture and apparent great taste. So of course the first thing we're going to start with is our cream cheese. Let's get that in. Next in goes our butter. And finally at this step a little bit of sugar. So now this is finally getting up to temperature. While this cheesecake recipe was invented in the 60s in Japan by chef Tomotaro Kazuno, having initially been inspired after trying the German Käsekuchen, which interestingly shares a similarly fluffy texture. The history of cheesecake actually dates back quite a bit further. In fact, the earliest known cheesecake recipe is over 4,000 years old. Made by the ancient Greeks, a rudimentary recipe with slices of fresh cheese that were then flattened down with flour and honey. This would have then proceeded to be baked. And as far as my research suggests, this is actually one of the earliest known recipes for a cheesecake. But back to the recipe we're trying today. Since I'm just having a bit of fun and this is a little bit of a bodge, I'll link someone below who has a very detailed recipe so you can try it yourselves at home. So our cream cheese has come off the heat. In the meantime, let's prepare our eggs. We'll get them into this bowl. And we slowly want to start adding our cream cheese and butter while we keep mixing it to stop it scrambling. And now we're going to sieve in some of our flour and followed in by cornstarch. And finally to this we want to add in our milk. So now that initial mix is done, we need to make our second part. So we'll start by adding egg white to this bowl. And into that we'll put some sugar. And now we need to bring this to stiff peaks using a mixer. So now I've got stiff peaks and the mixture doesn't fall out of the bowl. We need to combine our two parts. Super important at this stage not to over mix it, because you'll take the air out of our egg whites. So we've got our well incorporated batter on the side. We now need to grab our greased pan and let's pour all of our batter into there. And our very last step is going to be to add some hot water in a bain-marie around the side of our pan here. And finally, this is going to go in the oven for over an hour, but we need to adjust the temperatures as we go. So there is our slice of the world's fluffiest cheesecake. And you can see, it even has a little bit of a wobble to it. I can't wait to try this. I've been waiting for this to cool down for so long to finally tuck into it. Oh, look at that. Oh my gosh. Right, cheers. It's such a subtle flavour of the sweet coming through against that cheese flavour. Oh, this is just, with that texture, it's just absolutely incredible. This might be one of the best things I've ever made. You can see the top, we've got some nice browning. I'd be interested to try the original stuff in Japan if we go back again. So let me know in the comments below if you want to see me take another trip there. But just look at that. Oh, it dropped a bit. If I had to give this a rating, this has got to be at least a 9 out of 10. It's so good. And finally, there's our last bite. Wow. So with that being said, comment what we should test next. Very cool.